Sponge cake is one of the most famous basic pastries. It is perfect to be stuffed, covered, or accompanied with sauces and soft drinks. Today we'll teach you all the secrets to get a tall and fluffy one. Turn the planetary mixer. We're starting. In order to honor the Spanish court, Domenico Pallavicini decided to bring with him one of his best pastry chefs, Giovanni Carbone. The latter was asked for a dessert. They revisited the pastry of the Lady Fingers so as to amaze all the French and Spaniards hosted at the reception. This is the origin of the genoise, also known as the sponge cake. Now let's see what we need. Eggs, sugar, vanilla bean, salt, flour, and potato starch. I'll start with the eggs. There are at least 5 methods of sponge cake making, 2 cold, 2 hot and 1 with emulsifiers. The procedures are different, but the result doesn't change. I chose the most practical one, dirtying only the planetary mixer. You can use the whisks if you prefer. Now cut into the vanilla bean. With a smooth blade I'll go in, then with the back of the blade scrape the seeds and pour them into the mixer. I'll also add a pinch of salt. And now I can start with the whips. It will take 15-20 minutes at medium speed. I will slowly add the sugar in order to help its absorption. In the meantime, however, I can also grease the mold. In the original recipe, no yeast is added. Do you know why? Because the secret to a good sponge cake are well-beaten eggs, which must always be at room temperature. And here the mixture has become clear and fluffy. In jargon, we say that it writes. I'll show you. The time has come to add to the dry ingredients. Flour and starch through a sieve. The starch absorbs moisture, makes the sweets much fluffier. You might even use flour only. Now let's mix everything with whisks. Alternatively, you can also use a spatula. The important thing is to make a movement that goes from the bottom upwards, so you will scoop the powders from the bottom and bring them back up. Everything is ready. I can pour it into the 24 cm pan. And now let's level the surface with a spatula. I recommend never to bang the pan on the counter, otherwise you would flatten the mass. Our sponge cake cooks in a preheated oven in static mode at 160 degrees on the lowest rack for 50 minutes. Don't forget the toothpick test at the end of cooking. Each oven cooks differently. Once cooked, let the cake cool in the cake pan, then take it out and let it cool completely. How do you recognize a perfect sponge cake? If it lows after cooking, it is not cooked enough. Dark outside and light inside, you need to adjust the oven power. If it crumbles when cut, the eggs are overbeaten. But if it's as good as this one, then sponge cake is perfect. A perfectly whipped mass is just one of the secrets to obtaining this wonderful dessert. I bet that now you will prepare the sponge cake without any problems. Did this recipe make you hungry? Cook it yourself and then let me know.